Hello, welcome. Lots of good things happening today. Let's see what we've got in store. So we've got the beetroots. I've pulled some of these out, and what we're going to do, I'm going to show you with this one because I haven't done it with this one, but I've done it with the rest of them just to basically save time, so I'm not wasting your time in watching absolute nonsense. We'll get to that in a bit. Basically, I'm picking out the outer leaves. We've bought some new lettuce, which is exciting, and Amy's going to put those on in a second. We've taken out the small beetroots. They need potting on as well into their own individual little pots, and the cucamelons as well. Are you going to pot them on?
It's a little one.
Oh, you've already done one?
It's a little one.
Yeah. Well, it looks great. Is that not too compressed in there?
We will find out.
Okay. So that's what's happening on this side. We've got I'll just do a quick rundown. Tomatoes looking pretty cool. The strawberries as well are doing fantastic. Lots of new little shoots and heads coming up, flower heads, so many all the way up there. So there's lots of strawberries happening. Look, this looks like my first raspberry. That's really exciting. So there's that. I've done exactly the same in here with all of these beetroots. I've just taken out of the outer edges. So basically I'm just picking them off like this. I have sacrificed a couple of the actual beetroots themselves to basically thin it out. I've managed to save one. I don't know how good they like being put on after they've grown next to their siblings, so I'm basically risking this one. This one's an experiment one, and if it does carry on, then I might actually try and thin these ones out as well. I've done the same with that one back there and that one, and I've turned this tray of 3 on its side, so basically it has more room. Down here, now this is something. So look at this. That's the end of the kiwi. Look. That was growing up here, and I found, I don't know if you can see it on the leaves, slug or snail residue, so they've definitely been helping themselves to this, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is doing quite well. More beets over there. Got a little onion in here. I need to thin those ones out in there, those beetroots, but these tomatoes are doing fantastic. You can see the little flower heads. They're doing fantastic. The trusses, even. It does have a proper name. I just forgot it for a second. The carrots are dry, but I'm going to do another feed in a sec. And the potatoes as well. I've added more compost to these, which is why they look darker in comparison to the others. And then more behind the bush as well. So, lots going on at the moment. I'm just going to put this on the pile. You can see I've sacrificed 2 of them. So this is what the beetroot looked like. So I don't know if that will do anything because the root system is really small. I don't know if I can put any root powder on them. I did this about 20 minutes ago, so I think it's dried out by now. So it probably won't react very well. Anyway, so let's start by doing this. All I'm doing is you see all these dead ones on the end, and basically just picking them off. I'm trying to pick them all the way back to the stem like that, and just clearing a space around the edge so it has more room to grow, and it doesn't put all of the energy into trying to fix all of the dead leaves. Well, that's my hope anyway. I'll just take a couple of those off as well. That's basically what I've been doing with all of them at the moment. You can see there's, how many is that? Is that 2 or 3 plants in there? God, I don't know. Should I take that one out? That one looks quite small in there. I'm going to take that one out. But basically it's just trying to separate it. There we are. So that's another one. It's just trying to sacrifice some of the ones that shouldn't really be there in order to get a better yield in the next few months. I'll just spread some of this dry compost around. Now, I haven't been watering them as often as I used to because last year I didn't know it until the end of the year, but you're not meant to water them or overwater them too much, because they don't actually like it. They prefer dry compost, and that is why this time round they are absolutely flourishing. So there we are, that's the beetroots. So I've just got these out of the greenhouse. These are the Oogie Boogie peas, but they're doing brilliantly, and I don't really know what to do with them just yet. Shall I pot those on as well? I don't know. Seems like a lot of potting on today. I might leave them, I don't know. But they do need it, so stay tuned for that. Right, so Amy's about to do the lettuce. What was your question, sorry?
How do I separate them?
By separating them, you may need to... Or I can help you out if you want. Look at those roots. That's fantastic.
So I can't just rip there.
Yeah, you can. I need to show you, really.
God, look at them.
That's crazy. So basically, just take a chunk like that. You want to feel how comfortable it is of how they're happy being separated. That felt really easy. So now from there, you can see we've got 4 separate ones. So I'm going to split it here in the middle. Again, I'm not really doing much other than a little bit of force, but you can see it's separated really easy. And then again, you're barely doing anything, you're just teasing it like that, and they just fall apart. Okay, do you want to have a go? Beautifully done, look at that. So that's your first one. So, our first one. And then if you want to carry on with these,
How many is that? 2?
that is 2, yeah. You don't really need to do much. It just, you can feel it. You shouldn't have to break it. If it's not pulling apart easy, then you know that it's probably best not to do that. But there we are. Your first 2. And whilst Amy's doing that, I'll just show you these. So these are my white onions. I basically did these last year. And I wasn't expecting too much from them, but they've actually done really well. I know that I've got at least 2 onions on the go now. And I think it's time that they get potted on, because it's plenty big enough. Hey, look, I found an intruder in the pot. What's he doing? Why is he doing that? The little bugger.
What did you do?
He was pinching my potatoes. I literally just filled those up with compost, and now he's chucking it all out. I just seen a lump of compost get chucked out in that region. Oh God.
You don't want to mess with my tomatoes?
Yeah, he's done exactly the same with these tomatoes as well. Look, he's been making a right mess here. What a little shit. Right, anyway, back to what I was saying. So these onions basically need potting on, because they're getting a little bit big now for these pots. They're only, what are these pots? So that's a 1 litre pot, and I think it's got to be a 2 litre pot, I think. Yeah, it is, yeah. So I think I'm going to put those into maybe a bigger one, like the carrots are in. At least then I know I'm going to get a couple of onions this year. And also I need to put on some red onions as well, because I do actually have the bulbs. We could do that as well, couldn't we? As we've got the compost out. Oh, there's so much going on today. This is a good episode to tune into. Look at the roots on that, that's mad. That's it, if you tuck them in, that's it.
Pop them in there.
Beautifully done. So there we are. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more to do. Yeah, I reckon you'll be able to do it with the compost that we've got. So what are you doing right here? Is this going to be for the lettuce?
Yes.
Okay, so you've done 2 small ones, hoping that they'll be restricted with the growth inside of that one. But these ones we want big ones, is that right? So you're filling these with old compost. This was my idea, so anyone who's going to slag it off, then feel free to let me know. But basically we've reused old compost. I know it's not going to have any nutrients in, so I'm thinking perhaps scatter some powder on. What's the powder I've got? Some sort of growth powder. Superphosphate, that's it. And this will separate the layer of old rubbish compost with the new stuff that we're going to put on top, which is what the lettuce will sit in, but on here. So we've used, must be like half of this bin of old stuff, and therefore we're not using the good stuff for no reason, just filling up the pot. Okay, so you're adding the superphosphate now. This is the powder form. This is the one that I don't like because last time I actually used pellets. This time round I don't understand why, but it is a powder form. You're not allowed to breathe this in or get it into your eyes because it can do serious damage, which makes me wonder, is it actually safe for the veg? I'm sure we'll find out in due course.
Enough?
Yeah, it should be plenty. It's just enough to separate it. And I think it goes on the pot size as well. So it's just adding a little bit more nutrients into the soil. So, huh?
Found a worm.
A worm?
Tiny baby one.
He's loving it.
He'd be alright in there?
Well, he'll grow into a big worm, or a super worm now, the superphosphate.
Oh, look at his colour. Compost is wet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is this your first time cutting a bag open or something?
Yeah.
Huh?
It
Yes.
is. Your job.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, well, sorry for taking the piss. So just take it all the way along. All the way to the... nearly the end, but not the end. If you pinch it together, you can do both sides at once.
Done. Like that?
Yeah, alright, yeah, I'll do. I'll just rip the entire thing off the top. You just pop that into these bits, top them up. You can use a trowel if it's easier. Or your hands, yeah. Get green fingered. What are you doing? Oh my god. I got this in Greece the other day. Beautiful place when it's sunny. More in that one, that should be enough. So it actually says on this bag that it's already got a lot of nutrients and root growth and everything inside of it, so this is some really good stuff. Although unfortunately it is Westlands, so it's the classic twig situation. That's fine, but not when you're dealing with it, because it stabs you in the hands. So you did try some from seed, didn't you, back along, but they didn't do anything. So we've bought these today, hoping that at least we'll get something, and we've actually got more than we've bargained for here. 10 different lettuce, hopefully 3 massive ones, because these are in spacious pots. Then the other 2 will be smaller ones, which we can have hopefully sooner rather than later. Yeah, you have to, yeah.
Oh no, that one there is a big one.
Like I say, you don't really want to do too much other than let gravity do its thing and separate it. Otherwise, if you start pulling on the roots, you're more likely to do some damage. So, I mean, I'm not a gardener and I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be one, so don't listen to me if you think that is wrong. Beautiful.
These are sopping.
Yeah, I think they were recently watered. Actually, I didn't check the mat in the car. That didn't get wet, did it?
I don't know. Didn't check.
And Beautiful. Where are we going to put all of these?
I don't know.
There's so many. And there we have it. Well, I'll let you continue with these whilst I get on with something else, because we don't need to see lettuce being potted on all day. So I'm going to get on and perhaps do... What have we got here? Oh, that's your bracelet there. Where do you want me to put that?
Just throw it inside.
I'm not throwing it anywhere. It's your prized possession.
€150.
Whoa. €1.50. And then we've got these potatoes, and I'm desperate to get those in a pot, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Right, so what I've just done there is I've filled the pot with compost. I've got these chitted potatoes ready to go. I've got 4 here. They're a little bit softer than the other ones that I potted on. However, they need using, so I'm just going to plonk them all in this one big pot. Hopefully, we're going to have an abundance of potatoes this year. Now I'm just going to add some compost. I'm just going to add it on like that. Now if we remember with potatoes, we don't actually do all the way to the top of the pot, because what we want to do is give some breathing room for the chits to find their way up out of the compost all by themselves. And then once they start showing the green shoots, we then fill in more compost. So that is actually plenty. Just like that. In comparison to the size of the pot, it's probably about halfway, I think, in depth. I'm just going to smooth that across like that. And the potato chits are literally just under here. Now once they start to show just a little bit above the compost, that is when I'll add more compost on top to then cover those chits and repeat the process until the pot is full. Right, whilst Amy's got the trowel, I need to do something and keep myself occupied, so let's sort this out. Cheers. Oh, that's not too bad. The slugs are going to love it. Now this brewdog is 5.8%, so the slugs are going to get absolutely hammered. Hopefully that'll deter them away from my poor little kiwi plant that they've clearly chomped on as a little snack. So just catching up with you, you're doing what now? The lettuce?
Still the lettuce.
Okay, so you've got, what's that, 5 more pots there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've got 5 more of these. And what I've just found is these 2 big pots here. What size are these? So these are 5.8 litres. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these little pots of the onions inside. Hopefully I'll give it a hell of a lot more room. And I think, from a very quick Google search, I've seen that the onions get absolutely massive. So at least they'll have some room in those ones to be able to do their thing. Line going on here.
Small.
All 10 of them, yeah. And all they need now is a good old water. And that is over by the water station. Beautiful. Yes, 10 litres worth of water there. Plus the potatoes. Your lettuce. All the little ones. The great thing about this is that even with the big ones, if these smaller ones we end up wanting bigger as well, we can always just pot them on into new pots as well. It's not going to be that hard, and then it has more room to grow even bigger again, doesn't it? All I've got to do is drop in my onions into here. Whoa, look at that.
I see. Blimey.
We're clearly doing something, so that's good. I'm just going to pop it in like that. I'm going to try and sneak a view. Oh yeah, there is.
Oh.
There's a good bulb in there. This also freshens the top of the compost as well, because it was looking a bit sorry for itself. Just break off the top because it doesn't really need that bit. And there we go. Into here. You can see it's really dry on top. I've basically neglected it, but it's still doing something, and that's always good. Not as rooty as the other one. However, I feel like this one's actually doing better. Oh yeah, look. Just a sneak peek.
An onion.
A little sneak peek at an onion. So I'll just cover that up so it doesn't know that I've just had a little peek at it. Off of the whim, because I bought them for £1 for a pack of a gazillion. And these are the ones that survived out of it. So I wasn't really expecting too much to happen anyway. But it's done really good. There we have it, that's the onions done. What else is there to do? I've got these little beetroot, but I feel like this is getting a little bit long now, so I don't know whether to cut this or not. So what I'll say is I'll leave that there for now. So thanks very much for watching. If you've got anything from this, make sure you like and subscribe down below, and hopefully catch you in the next episode where you'll see the beetroots, the other onion sets, and also, what is it, the cucamelons, the the potatoes, the carrots, the everything else, and we'll catch you in that episode. So see you over there.